My name is Alex Morales. I'm a firefighter. I'm here at Station 34, B shift. I've been here for just over 5 years now. I was class 1701. I was in the United States Army. I was in 1st Ranger Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. I was in Charlie Company. I was in it from 2010 to 2014. I deployed to Afghanistan 3 times. I got out and came back home. So when I got out, I kind of fell into a little bit of a rut where I didn't have, the constant direction, the structure, the schedule. I didn't have my buddies around me all the time. I mean, we all lived together off post, and I didn't have that anymore. Some of them were still in, some of them just went back to their home states. And so I got pretty stagnant where I didn't do a lot. And I needed something to jumpstart, and so I ended up going and getting myself into school, and it was really nice to have that structure again. And I went back, and I had a great time. I was at Pima Community College. I finished up my associates there. I actually did the EMT program through Pima using my GI Bill, which I didn't know that I could do, but I talked to some of the veteran resources, and they let me know I could do that, and I earned my EMT certificate through the GI Bill, got my associates through Pima, transferred over to the University of Arizona, and actually one of the guys that I was in my EMT class with called me while I was at U of A, and he told me that, he goes, "Hey man, Northwest Fire is hiring." And I go, "Okay, cool." And so I went on and put my application in, and as luck would have it, first try, I got in, he and I both did, and got into the academy, and now here I am. I know for me, I needed it big time. Well, do you want the obvious, or do you want kind of the intangibles? The obvious was, it's the simple things that everybody always thinks of. It was discipline. It was kind of learning what I was actually capable of. There were times where there were just self-doubt would try and creep into my head, and it was either physical or mental. And when there was still a task to be accomplished, you had to push through that. And once you came out on the other side of it, one of those things, and it just showed me like, hey, just keep going, one foot in front of the other, and you'll come out on the other end. Somebody has done this before. And I know that for me, hey, I've never been the biggest guy on the planet, and I still had the same physical standards as everybody else, and I had to just do it. Quitting was never an option. I was lucky enough to be in an organization that was the United States Army Special Operations Command unit. So it was a different group of people to be around all the time. They were just highly motivated, highly disciplined, highly trained soldiers that didn't accept failure and didn't accept anything less than 100% and then some. My experience in the military, specifically in Ranger Regiment, was you operated on not a lot of sleep, physically taxing things all day. A moment's notice, things could change. And if you know anything about the fire service, it's that. You could be sitting there, you could be in the middle of dinner, you could be giving a station tour to a group of first graders, and then a very critical call comes out. It could be a fire, it could be a very critical medical call that comes out. It could be a traffic accident, a major event, and having to be able to switch gears and get into that mode to be able to perform. I know the stresses from training and deployments very much so contributed to being able to come here and take it in stride. There are definitely times when you get tired and maybe grumpy or whatever it is, but it's one of those things that, at least for me, I know that I'm able to fall back on. I know when it comes to any of the, for instance, the paramilitary organizations, police, fire, anything like that, you have pretty obvious parallels. You have a very high standard of physical fitness. You have, for us, we're really lucky in the fire service to live in a house with anywhere between 3 to 5 to 6, 7 other people. And this is the camaraderie that you're able to feel. You're able to go out and get that instant feedback and support each other on calls where one person may not be doing so well. Someone else can step in and really help achieve that task. We've all have the same exact goal and same mission in mind. It's pretty simple. We're here to save lives, protect property, and care for the community. And it's easy for us to do when we have a group of people that have the exact same thing. When I was in the military, our job was to primarily, if we had to deploy, we had to do our job and bring everybody back. Those are the most important things that we had to do. But the amount of training and proficiency that was demanded in the military, I see it here as well. We have continuing educations. We'll go quarterly to go do EMS trainings, things that it's every person from the top to the bottom. It's not just the brand new fireman, or it's not just the brand new paramedic or engineer. It is the entire crew that goes out there to make sure that we're able to be proficient and give our community the best standard of care. So in my immediate family, I was actually the first one to go into the military, but my older cousin, Sergeant Martin A. Lugo, he went before me, and he was probably the closest one to me. Growing up, him and his sister Leslie were, to me, they're my older brother and sister. I have two older brothers as well, but they're 15, 16 years older than I am. My cousin Martin and Leslie were only a couple years older than me, and my cousin Martin was killed in combat in 2010, but it meant a lot to me because I looked up to them. I looked up to some of the extended family that were veterans. Some of them were Vietnam veterans. I have an uncle who's in the Marine Corps in Vietnam, and it's just, I always watched them growing up, and I saw that the way that they carried themselves. I saw that they held themselves to a very high standard. They gave more of themselves than they ever took, and it was something that, whether they said it or not, I knew that it was attributed to stuff that they had learned in the military. I've been lucky enough to be able to shake hands with some World War II veterans. It's something that our country, it's the foundation. We still have people serving, and we probably always will. And it's a hugely important thing, and it's really cool. You get shared experiences. I've met people that, I never knew them a day in my life, never served with them or anything like that, but they happen to be from the same unit or a similar unit, and it's like we've known each other for years. It's interesting how that works, and I think that's been one of the most impactful things is that you just have, a lot of times you have instant family. I know what getting into the fire service did for me. It was huge. I needed it. It was very close to the feeling of being in the military again. And you know what? I love living in the civilian world. It's awesome. I had a great time as an active duty member, and now being out is fantastic. I am very lucky for all the things that it gave me and taught me. But anybody that's looking to get into this, keep at it. There might be times where you don't make the cut on the first try. There may be times that you are doubting whether you want to get into this or maybe go back. Come and talk to us. If you're a veteran, if you're anybody, but if you're a veteran, you're interested in getting into the fire service, come and sit down and talk to us. There's going to be a number of veterans throughout Northwest Fire. In all of the agencies here, Tucson Fire, Goler Ranch, or Avra Valley, us, anybody, we've got a number of veterans that are employed with us, and I promise you, any one of them will share their experiences, their knowledges, some of their tips that they have. They would do it, no problem. It's a great place to be. As far as Veterans Day goes, everybody, we have the long weekends, and we're going to have the barbecues, and people will hang out with family and things like that, which is fantastic. I think that's great. That's what every single veteran signed up to go do, is to ensure that possibility and that freedom to be able to come and hang out and spend time and just kind of let your hair down. You know, remember it. Just remember that we still have people over there, but the people who did go and came back, check on them. Veterans, check on your veteran buddies. You know, call them up. You know, it may seem like you're bothering them, but keep at it. Keep talking to your friends. Check on them. You know, I know for me, I'll travel across the country to see some people that I might not even drive across town for here. So just keep that bond tight. I just want to say, everybody, happy Veterans Day from everybody here at Northwest Fire District. Rangers lead the way.